Hello, boys and girls. I'm hoping you're enjoying your long weekend. I know I was. I got to spend some time to just relax and read a good book. So, we're going to get started with today's video. Remember, we are aiming for every day this week to have 24 people complete the video so we can get rid of that 0 on the green chart and start getting a 1, a 2, and a 3. So, let's go ahead and let's get started with this video. So, share my screen for you. There we go. All right, so today we're going to be focusing on the NFL, the National Football League, and we've got some statistics here for you. In this number right here, this is how many total yards were completed by every single team in 2013, and this is the same thing but in 2014. Now, I want to know how much total yards were completed by all the teams in 2013 and 2014. So to do that, I'm going to add those together. So adding is when you have two different amounts and you just want to see how much they are together. Could be three amounts all the way up to as many amounts as possible, but we're just going to focus on two amounts for right now. So when you can't add things when it's horizontal, side by side like this. You kind of can, but it's kind of difficult. I like to do it, and it's much easier if you do it side or top to bottom or vertically. So we're going to write the first addend, which is the fancy word for numbers in an addition problem, 178,428. Now, underneath that, we're going to add it, and we're going to make sure the place values line up. So how I wrote this left to right, I actually reverse it. So I go 1, 9, 1, comma, 8, 7, 1. That just kind of helps me add up or line up my place values so I don't make any mistakes. So now here, we're going to just start adding it up. 8 plus 1 equals 9. 2 plus 9 equals 11. However, you can't put 11 there. You can only put one digit in each place value, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to undo that. 11 is 10 plus 1. So we can only have one digit down there. So 1 down there, and we carry up the other 1. I like to circle it to make sure that I like to add a plus sign to make sure I do it. So now it's 1 plus 4, which is 5, plus 1 more, which is 6. Didn't have to do any carrying there. Bring my comma. 8 plus 8 is 16. Again, 16 can't go down there because that's two digits. So the 6 goes down, the digit in the 1's place always goes down, and the digit in the 10's place comes up. 1 plus 7 is 8, plus 7 more is 15. We see 15's like this. We see the 5 is in the 1's place, and the 1 is in the 10's place, so that gets carried up. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. Now, we're not quite done with this problem because the last thing we always need to do in a problem is make sure we check our work. And to check our work, we are going to work with these two numbers. So let's switch to another screen here. In this number, we see we have 356,619, which comes from my answer there, and 178,191, which comes from this. When you're checking answers, you just do the opposite operation. So we were doing an addition problem, and so we'll do a subtraction problem to check it. This is just to make sure that our answers come up as correct. So, and subtraction is going to be tomorrow's video, so if you don't quite understand the subtraction right now, that's okay, but by the end of the week you will understand it. 9 minus 1 is 8. 1 minus 9, well, you can't do that, so we have to borrow a group of 10 from the 6, and now this becomes an 11. And again, like I said, subtraction's tomorrow's problem and video, so you don't have to worry too much about it if you don't understand it right now. 11 minus 9 is 2. 5 minus 1 is 4. Can't take 8 from 6, so we'll have to borrow here. I'll break that whole borrowing step down a lot more in the next video. 8, same thing. Can't borrow, so now that becomes 7. And now let's go back and we're going to check to make sure every digit appears in both ones. So let's look for 178,428. 178,428, 178,191, 178,191, 356,619, 356,619. So now that I see I have a check mark next to each number in this one, in my check problem, and my original problem, I know that I'm correct. I don't even need to ask Mr. B to tell me if I'm correct. So checking is always going to be a last step. Now let's talk about, this is the total yardage of the New Orleans Saints and the Steelers, the Pittsburgh Steelers from 2014. Now we're going to add those up. This is your turn to practice. So when I'm done speaking, pause the video, and then when you're done, we'll solve it together. So pause it now. Wonderful. Now let's line it up. First step, we need to take the first number, 4,764. Second number, remember I like to line it up backwards, so the 2, 5, 7, 4. We're adding that up. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus 5 is 11. Remember, 11, you can't put that down because we have 11. That's one place. We only have one space for that place value. So the 1 stays down, and the 1 in the tens place value gets carried. 1 plus 7 is 8, plus 7 more is 15. Same concept, 15. You put the 1, or the 5, excuse me, the 5 down, and the 1 gets carried up. 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 9, or plus 4 is 9. I got a little bit ahead of myself. But I'm not done with this problem yet, because I need to take these two numbers and do the opposite operation to check it. So I'll just do this over here. 9,516 minus, because I'm doing the opposite of addition, 4,000. Oh, I'm lining this up incorrectly. Let me try that again. 2, 5, 7, 4. 6 minus 2 is 4. Can't take 5 from 1, so I'll need to borrow from here. 6. Can't take 7 from 4, so I'll need to borrow. And there. So let's go back and check if the numbers match up. So I see there and there match up. I see that and that match up. And I see that and that matches up. And so now I know I'm correct. Now, if I saw something didn't match up, I knew I made a mistake. I need to go back and solve my mistake, because we don't make excuses, we make changes. So you're going to need to make a change if something doesn't match up. So your final assignment is this problem. You're going to need to solve this, bring it back to school. Don't forget to check. I should see a subtraction problem when I check your flip notes in the morning. I'm really hoping that we can get to 24. If you are 24 people fully flipping, if there was something you needed help with and you didn't quite understand, go back and rewatch the video. That's the wonderful thing about flipping, is you can watch it as many times as you want, and nobody will know. It'll be, you can learn at your own pace. So there's your problem. You might want to pause the screen and so you can write down and solve it. So pause it now.